Hello guys, welcome back to the Debug Arena. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a complete login authentication system using Angular and Node.js. Even if you only know the basics of Node and Angular, you will be able to follow along. I will explain every line of code I write, so don't worry if you are a beginner. Since I will be explaining everything in detail, this video might be a bit long, but I promise it's worth it. Let me first show you a quick demo of what we are going to build. So here you can see this is my Angular application and this is the login page. Here I have implemented routing, and when I click on that link, I will be navigated to this register page. Here I have this input boxes. Currently my register button is disabled, and if I just touch here and just come out, so you can see here I am getting the error. So I will be covering FormBuilder also. So first let's fill all of these details. Let's enter the password 12345678. Let me copy this Gmail, click on register, and you can see here I have got the message registration successful. I will click on OK, and I will be navigated back to the login page. Here I will paste that email, enter my password, click on this login button, and here I am getting message invalid credential. I will write the valid credential, click on this, and here you can see I have been navigated to the home screen where I am getting the logged in user details along with its email, mobile. Here I have got the logout button. So when I will click on that, I will be logged out from my application. So this is what we are going to achieve by the end of this video. So without any delay, let's get started. Now the first step will be to create the Angular project. For that, I will open the terminal and I will move on to CD documents, and in that I have a YouTube tutorial folder. Yeah, fine. In this we have to run this command to create a new Angular project, which is ng-new and our project name. So in my case, I will just give you auth app, and here it is asking me Node.js version 20. So let me just use nvm use 20. I have already installed nvm, that's why I can use it. Again, I will run that command ng-new auth app, and here I want scss, so I can select that. Server side rendering not required for now. Zoneless, no, none. And it started generating my Angular project. Let's wait for it to finish. Okay, fine, it is done. Now I will move on to my Finder, and here you can see inside YouTube tutorial I have this auth app. I will just open this with VS Code, and here you can see this is my Angular project structure. Inside the src I have my code, and inside app I have some predefined code. And here I will open the terminal, and in the terminal I will just set my Node.js version, and here I will just run this command ngs. This means Angular serve, and you can see it has started my application on this port. Let me try to visit this port, and here you can see this is my by default app. So we have created our app. Now what next? Let's create the component. So I hope you already know how to create the component. Now we have to create the component. For that I will just increase this terminal. I will go here. Here I will first switch to Node.js 20. This step you don't have to do. In my MacBook there are multiple Node.js version. That's why I have to do this every time. Now here I will run this command ng generate component. This is a shortcut to generate the component, and this is how you can write in the short form. And then I will give the component name. So I will just write here auth, which is my folder, and inside this I want register. Hit enter, and you can see inside app auth is created, and inside auth I have register.html, .scss, .spec.ts, and .ts. Now one thing you have to note, that currently my Angular version is 20.3.0. so in this version it is basically a standalone application, so that's why I am not having app.module.ts. Also, this is the new format where we don't have to mention register.component.html everywhere, so that's why you can see this type of naming convention. Now my component is created. What I will do, I will go to app.html, remove all the previous code, and here I will just write here app register, and let's save this. Let's go and check the output, and here you can see what I'm getting. App register is not a known element. Why? It is because, as I have already told you, this is Angular 20.3.0, which is a standalone application. So we have to import that. So I will go to app.ts, and here I will come and I will import register component like this. Then I will hit enter, sorry, save, and then I will go here, and you can see I'm getting register work, which is directly coming from my register.html. So our basic setup is done. Now let's go and create the form. Now before creating the UI for register.html, I want to move on to register.ts, and here the first thing which I will do is write here standalone true to define it as standalone component. And after that, you might have already known that there are two type of forms we can create in Angular application. One is template driven and the other one is reactive form module, which is reactive forms. So for this video, I'm going to use reactive forms because it directly provides us validations and all. So to do that, what I will do, I will come here and let's create a variable named as register form and assign it a form group. Now we will move on to import. We have to import some module. The first one is common module so that we can use basic Angular commands, and it should be imported from Angular common. And after that, I will import reactive form module, and then at the top we have to import all of this from Angular forms. I don't know why I'm not getting the recommendation, so I will do that by myself. So here I will come and I will just write here form group reactive form module, and they will be imported from Angular forms. Okay, it's reactive forms module. So here also I will just change that to reactive forms module, and we are good. Here I am getting the error because I haven't initialized it, so that's fine. Now our variable is ready. We have to initialize it. For that, I will just create a constructor. In the constructor, I will define a variable with a private name as FB, and I will assign a form builder. So form builder is the class which helps us to create the form. Then we have to initialize that. So what's the form we want to create? This is our register form. So this is the form I have to create. Then here I will just initialize the this.fb, which is our form builder dot group. So we are grouping multiple form controls. What are the form controls? The form controls are our variables. Getting my point? So here I will just write here group, and inside group we have to pass all the input boxes we will be creating. So the first one will be name. Now in this, by default it will have the empty value, and I also want to add some validation here, so that's why I will be using validators dot required. So validators will also be imported from angular dot forms dot required. So now this field will be required. I hope you are understanding this. Form builder is the package or library which helps us to create the form. Using this fb.group, we are grouping multiple controls. What are controls? Controls are the different fields we will be having in our register form. Fine. Now I will also write email. In the email also the default value will be null, and here there will be two validators. So I will add array here. The first one will be validators.required, and the second one will be validators.email, so that the data format will be email dot email. Okay, and it will be like this. Fine. Let me just add for mobile and password. Okay, done. I have created for mobile where I have added required also, max length and min length, and also for password where min length is 6. Now our form is ready. Now we will also have to create a function that will be called on submit. So I will just scroll down and I will create a function on submit, and in this we can write a condition. Like here we have used reactive form, which is the form builder, so we get predefined function like this group one. In the same way we have dot invalid dot value. So here I will write if my this dot register form dot invalid, that means it is invalid, so I will just make it opposite, that it is not valid, sorry, it is valid. In that case I will just console.log this dot register form dot value. So inside this we will get all the value of all the control elements. Now our TS file is ready. Let's go to register.html and create the UI. So I'll come here, and let me tell you one thing, I will not be focusing on CSS. So for now I will just come here and I will just write here register, and after that I will create a form. Inside the form I will create an input box. Okay, input box will have type, and let's give a placeholder as name. Fine. And let me do it for one more, and here I will give it as email. Fine. Now we have to link this register form with the form we have created. So to do that I will come here and I will add this attribute property binding form group. And what is the form group? It is register form. So now they are linked. Okay, now we have to link the control, like this input box is a control. So to link that, here we have to write this form control name, and in this we have to pass the same name which we have given there for a control, like this name. Okay, so now this input box is directly linked to this variable here. Whatever value we will be entering here, we can receive it there. Same way I will come here and I will just write here form control name, and I can just give it as email. Now let me just create a button with a type as submit. Now when this button will be called, we have to call a function. For that, I will just go to form, and here I will just write here ng submit. This is the event attribute, and in this I can pass my function name, which is on submit. Now this will directly call this function. Okay, I will just go to register.ts and I will remove this condition because currently all of the fields are not introduced, so my form will be invalid only. Let's save this. Let's go here, and this is my application, this is my console, and if I click on submit, you can see I'm getting all the values. If I enter something in name and enter something in email, click on submit, I'm getting that value directly. So this is how we can create the reactive form in Angular using the form group form builder, and link that with our HTML basic form structure using form group attribute and this form controller. Now let me just quickly create the structure for this and also add all the fields, because this step will be common. We just have to link that, and at the same time I will be adding the CSS and I will show you the CSS code. So let me do that quickly. Okay, I have created the basic structure. So here you can see at the top I am having the auth container. After that I have auth box, then create account, and then we have a subtitle. And after that, this is my form. In the form I have added type, form control name, and placeholder, same like other, and also I have added the required, and all of these are same for others. Then here I have created a button which was my submit and given it as a class button primary, and here I have added the attribute which is a disable. Now how it will work, it will fetch register.invalid. So if my form is invalid, that means it is empty, it is touched or anything, then it will disable will be true. If it is not invalid, this will be false and my disable will be false. So I can access the button, and this is my footer. Now let me just show you the CSS. So there will be a common CSS. So I have pasted that inside style.css. This is the CSS. You can create the structure better than me, but if you want to follow my UI, then you can copy paste this, or you will definitely find the link to this on GitHub. Like the code you will find on GitHub, and the link will be in description. So yeah, now let me just show you the output. This is the output I'm getting now, and let me just open the console, and you can see register is disabled. Let me just fill all the values, and once all the values are filled, this register is enabled, and when I click on that, I'm getting all the data here. So we are good till here. The only thing missing here is how to show the error. So let me just show you that. For that, I will come here, I will go to register.html. I will show how to show error for this name. I will come here and I will just write here small. Okay, this is a tag in HTML only. And in this, I will write name is required, so that whenever name is not filled, I will get this value. But how the code will know that name is not filled? For that, I will come here and I will add a condition. Ngif. In ngif, I will access my form, which is my form, register form. Okay, now register form, that value will give us every value, but I want to get what? Just name. So how I can get? Using dot get. Inside get, I can pass the name of the control. What is my name of the control? It's dot name, so just the name. Okay, so I have got the value. Now what next? And I have to know its value, so I can write dot value. No, I want to know whether user has clicked on it or not. So that is meant by dot touch. So I will just write here dot touch. Okay, I'm facing the issue. It is because of this. So yeah, here I'm saying that register form dot get. I'm getting the particular name and whether it is touched or not. That means user has clicked on it or not. And if it is clicked, okay, then I will check for another condition, which is register form dot get. Again, my control name will be name, and this time I will check for the another value dot has error. So in the has error, we can pass what type of error we have defined. We have defined required, so I can just pass here required. Okay, so if any of this condition is true, or both the condition are true, because to get it required, first it should be touched, so I will see this error. Now let's save this, let's go here. Currently there is no error. I will just go and remove this, and you can see I'm getting name is required. So let me just add the condition for the validation for all. Okay, done. You can see the condition for email. Here I have written register form dot get email dot touch, whether it is touched or not. Then I am checking has error required. If yes, then I am showing this message email is required. But if it is a touched and it has an error name as email, that means the email format is not valid. Then I am showing this. Okay. The same thing goes for mobile and password. So you can learn more about this has error by looking some document, but for now you can just understand what type of error we are looking for, and it is directly related to this. second value. Okay, now let's check the output. So yeah, name is required coming. If I remove this, email is required. If I enter wrong email like this, if I come here, mobile number is required, and same thing, the password is required. So we are almost done from front end side, because in this we have created the form, we have added the field validation, and we have integrated the reactive form, and we are able to get the value from form to console. Now what next? Our next step will be to go to Node.js, create the API so that it will receive this value and store it in the MongoDB and register the user. So let's do that quickly. Okay, you can see here, this is my Node.js project where I have already done the basic setup. Basic setup include installing Express, Mongoose and .env, and then importing them and initializing app Express. After that, I have initialized Mongo URI, and here I have made the connection from Node.js to MongoDB. So if you don't know how to connect from Node.js to MongoDB, you can watch my previous video where I have explained each and every step to set up Node.js project. And if I show you my .env, in this I am having Mongo URL and port, and in app.js you can see I am listening to that port, and this is just the basic setup. I hope you already know this thing. Now what should be the next step? The next step will be to create the schema. So for that I will come here and I will create a new folder, and inside this I will create a folder of model. So just one thing, I am not following MVC structure because I am making this tutorial for absolute beginner, so that they will not lost in between learning the basic things. Okay, so inside this model I will just create user.js. Also one more thing, that I am using type module inside this. So you can see here we have got type module. So if you are using common JS, then in that case you will not be able to use import statement. You will have to use require. But as this is type module, I can use import statement. Fine. Now here I will import Mongoose, and it will be imported from Mongoose. After that I will create a variable user details, and here I will initialize a new Mongoose schema. Okay, so schema is basically the blueprint of data we are going to store. So for a user, what will be the blueprint? Its name, email, mobile and password. So we will be defining those parameters here. So in the schema, the first thing will be the name. So inside the name, we can add set of rules, like it will be type of string L, type of string. It will also be required. So I will set it to true and trim true, so that it will cut off the extra space. After this, I will do the same thing for email. Type also will be string. It will be required. It will also be unique, and I will convert it to lowercase as true, and at last trim. Let me just quickly enter for mobile and password. Okay, done. Mobile type number required true, millen 10, and trim also true. Password also the same thing. And apart from this, I also want to include the timestamp. So I will just write here timestamps, and it will be true. Okay, this was the schema structure. Now we have to create it inside the model. So here I will write const user equals to mongoose.model. So this is the function to create the model, and its name will be user model. And what's its value? It will be user details schema. This one, which we have created the value here. Okay, and at last I will be exporting here the users. Done. So my model is ready. Now let's go to app.js and let's create the API. Here I can just write here register API. Here I will write app.post, because we will have to accept some details from there. And here I can write API slash register. It will be async request and response. So while creating an API, we will get request and response. Now the first thing is to add try and catch block. Now in the try block, the first thing inside the API, what we will do, we will accept the data coming from front end. Okay, so what are the data? The data will be name, email and password. And how we can accept that? Using request.body. So here I will just write a const name, email, mobile, password, and we will destructure it from request.body. Inside the body, we will get all the data, and here I am destructuring it. After this, I will add a condition that if my name, email or password is not there, then I will return the response as error. All fields are required. Okay, done. I have added the condition. I also have to include here mobile, which I have forgot. Okay, fine. Now we know that all of the data are present. What next? The next step will be to create the user. But one second. Here we also have to add a condition that the user with particular email exists we don't want to register it again. So to tackle that, I will add here another condition. So I will create a variable name as existing user, and then I will write here await. Okay. Now on which variable all of the user will be present inside our model. Okay, because it is connected to MongoDB. So here I will import my model user, which should be imported like this. Okay. So now inside this, all of my user are present. So what I will do? I will do dot find one, which is a function to find a particular user based on some parameter. Which parameter? Email. So I will pass here email, which I'm getting from request.body. So it will try to find the existing user. Now here I will add a condition that if existing user is true, that means user with particular email already exists. I am returning here response.status 400, which is the error status with the message user already exists. Now to make this more better, I will just add here status as error. Here also I will add status as error so that we can filter it easily. Now what next? The next step will be to add the user, but before that we are receiving here password, so we will have to encrypt that. Okay, so to do that I will install one package. So I will just open my terminal, and here I will stop the server, and here I will import a package named as bcryptjs ptjs. Okay, fine, it is imported. Then I will come here and I will create a variable name as hash password equals to await, because this process can take time. And here I will write bcrypt, which is a function which will be imported from bcrypt.js. Okay, it is not. So let me just import it. So I will just write a import bcrypt from bcrypt.js. Okay. In this I get a method known as hash. So in this I can pass password with 10. So it will hash it. Now we are ready. Here I will create a variable name as new user, and here I will write await. Now we have to save all of this data inside our model. So for that, I will just add a user, which is my model dot create. So it will create a new value. In this, I will pass name, email, mobile, and password. So here you can see I have name, email, mobile, and password, but here password should be this hash password. So I will have to assign it here. Just because this name variable is same as the value we have written it once, but here this password is pointing to this user, this one. Okay, so this password is not same with the value we want to store, so we will have to assign it, but other name, email, and mobile are same with this. So that's why we have written it only once. Now once this is done, I can just return here response dot status 201, that means created dot json status success, and message as registered successfully. And if there is an error, I have consoled the error and also returned the response. So now my API is also ready. Now the only remaining thing is that we have to go to our Angular application and call this API and see whether we are able to register the user or not. So let's do that quickly. Okay, I'm at the Angular application. Here I will open a terminal, and in this I will run this command ng generate service nggs, and here I will give the location as service slash auth service. Hit enter, and here you can see my service is generated and it's auth service.ts. Good. Then I will come here. It is always recommended to call all of your API inside a service and then call a method to call the API, so that you can use a single service to call n number of API directly. And through this way, you can also share the state. I hope you already know about services, this injectable provided it, and other things. So in this, the first thing which I will do is to define the base URL, and it will be http localhost 5001 slash API. Okay, and let me just see in my Node.js code inside env. Yeah, it's 5001 only. So this is fine. Now I will come here and let's add the constructor. Inside the constructor, I can define a private. Okay, here I have to inject a class which is http client, which will be imported from Angular common HTTP so that I can use it. Now I will create a normal function which is known as register. Okay, and it will receive the user. For now I am giving it as any, but you can create an interface and put name, email, mobile, and password along with the type of data. That is a recommended. We should not use any, but for now I am using the any. Then I will right here observable. Why? Because it will be emitting the value again and again. Okay, I hope you already know about observable. If not, then definitely go and learn more about this. Now here I will just return. Okay, So what we have to return here, we have to call the API. So for calling the API, I can write this dot HTTP, which we have imported here from HTTP client. Now we have to call the API with the method of post. So I can write here post. Inside this, we have to pass the URL. So here I will use this, and first thing I will pass my base URL, this dot base URL, and after that I can pass dot register. Okay, because we have to call the register API. After that, in the post method, we have to pass a body. What will be the body? The data. Okay, and the data will be the user. So here I will pass the user, whatever data I will receive in this function, I'm passing it directly there, and that's it. This is how you can call the API in Angular and inside the service. Now I will save this. Now let's go to register.ts. In this, inside on submit, I will come. The first thing which I will have to do is to inject the service here, because we have created the service, so we will have to inject it here. For that, again I will come and write here private auth service, and here I will pass my component as auth service. Okay, and here it is imported. Now I can use that function. So to do that, I will come here and I will write this dot auth service dot register. Okay, now here I have defined this register as an observable, like it will return the observable. So we have to subscribe to it. But before that, I have to pass the value. So I can just pass here this dot register form dot value. Now I will subscribe to it. Subscribe means whenever it will emit the value, like when we hit this function register, we are passing this value. So it will call the API. When it will call the API, it will get some value. Okay, and it will get the value. So we are subscribing it to listen to that value. Okay, then I will just write here next, which is one of the way to get the next value coming from the subscriber, or we can say observable. And here I can just console.log data. But when it is subscribing, it is also possible that it will fail. So I will just write here error. I will just console.log error also. Now let's check the output. So I will go here, and here you can see my output is gone. Why? No provider found for HTTP client. Okay, let's go to the code. Uh, this is auth service. Here I have defined HTTP client, imported app.html, sorry, app.ts. Here we don't have to do anything. Yes, app.config.ts. Okay, here we have to add the provider. So I can just write here import providers from, and I can pass the module HTTP client module. It should be imported from Angular common HTTP. Let's save this. As this is a standalone application, so we have to mention some providers here so that our whole application can use it. Okay, yeah, now I'm getting the output. Now let me just see whether my Node.js application is started or not. And here you can see, okay, here I'm getting the error. You mean to import module node.js? Yes, I mean to do that. Let me see app.js. Okay, it is user, so I have to specify here user.js. Let's save this, and my error is gone. Now let's go here and enter all the details, and now I will hit on this register button, and here I am getting some error, and it is saying that our course has been blocked. Okay, fair enough. So let me just go to the backend code. Here we have imported all of this, but here we have to add the course also. So if I go to package.json, here I have already installed one package named as course. Course allow us to communicate our Angular and Node.js application, like send and receive the request. For that, after you initialize the app, we can do app.use, and here we can pass course so that it will allow us to send and receive the request. Along with that, we also have to use one middleware, which is express.json, because we are passing JSON data. If we don't use this, then we will get error. So make sure to add both of this. Okay, I'm getting course not defined. That's totally fine. I will just come here and just import the course. Okay, let's save this. Yeah, it is running. Let's go there. Click on register, and I'm getting 404 not found. Wow. Let me just go to the backend code. And here if I go to this register, okay, here I have missed this one. Let's save this. Silly mistake I am making. Let's again go there, click on register, and here you can see what I have got. I have got status success message, user registered successfully. Now let me just come here and let's add tdb@g.com, and let's change the name to the debug arena. Click on register, and here I have got user registered successfully. Let me also see the network. Yeah, here I'm getting the 201 status and it is done. Now let me just go to the MongoDB and see whether my user has been added or not. And here you can see this is my schema name, and here I have got two values, others Thakur, a@g.com one, and the debug arena. So this is how we can do registration in Angular and Node.js and MongoDB as a database. I think this video is already too long. So the login part and showing the user details part I will cover in the next video. But I want you to take a minute and leave the comment for me whether you understand each and everything. And if you have any doubt, then please let me know in comment. I will try to solve that. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.